Hello and good evening from Hamburg in Germany. This is Elite Horology live here, and I'm joined with my good friend Thomas Burnett. Hello, good evening, Thomas.
Hi there, Jonathan. How are you doing?
Good to
And
see you.
hello to the chat. Hi to the viewers. Hope you're doing well this Saturday evening.
Yeah, it must be sad when people are hanging on the internet instead of enjoying the beautiful weather, but that is how it is.
Yeah, instead of going out and doing something exciting, they're stuck indoors watching the YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. But I hope that we can make it as enjoyable as possible for the guys in who are watching live and for the guys in the panel,
Yeah,
in
sure.
the chats. So, did you have dinner? Did you
I've just
finish?
been enjoying some sushi. Just
Oh,
snacking on some sushi before I have my dinner later on. So
wow.
I've just been snacking on some sushi. So it's been chicken katsu rolls.
It's a long
So,
time that I had sushi, so I envy you. So we have here Michael W. from Hamburg. So I'm pronouncing him in German. Michael, hello, guten Abend. I hope that you're doing well. We also have here Tim G, like always in the comments. He's saying hello to you, Thomas.
Hi
Uh,
Tim.
we have Whole Milk, my uh, my my Czech person who's always keeping me in chat with Czech with everything, and of course he's criticizing because we've been starting late. That is usually not my thing, but I enjoyed talking to Thomas so much behind the lines. So apologies for that. Next time I'm gonna be sharp on the point again. AD Never Calling is joining us from Texas. Hello,
Hi
good
doing.
evening. Hope
Good
that
evening, Patrick.
you're doing well. We have here a guy named Lavishly Fat. Fat, if you have only one shtick mentioning my decorated eggs, your life here will be very short-lived. I appreciate that that you're chiming in. If your intention is to troll me with my Fabergé egg, be my guest, but deal with the consequences. AD Never Calling is listening from his tractor. And he's excited to hear about Leica watches. I was talking to him this week, and it seems that he's very intrigued and very interested to hear about them.
Are you a big camera fan, AD Never Calling? Have you got like a camera? I've just sold one actually, a Panasonic Lumix with a
Oh,
Leica lens.
okay.
Yeah.
That is with the that was a Lumix. What it is Deluxe or was it Lumix or what was the name?
Lumix, Panasonic Lumix. I sold two. I sold a bridge camera and
Okay.
a compact camera.
Okay.
Well, they're being sold by a dealer on commission. So
So that sounds that a new watch project is just around the corner.
yeah,
You're freeing space and cash.
I need money.
Yeah. That's how it is. So yeah, without further delay, I'm trying to do the presentation. I hope that that our friend Jerry Leibowitz, who asked about the Leica watches, will join us in the chat. And if you want to join us on the panel, the link is pinned on top. So you're welcome to join us here. Because I guess that Jerry is a Leica fan, and he asked me on a previous show to cover those cameras.
I was interested to hear that Leica started making watches before they started making cameras in 1863.
Yeah, but the founder of Leica apparently came from watchmaking.
Yeah.
So he was an
Yeah.
educated watchmaker, and then he started building up cameras. So both technologies or both kinds of mechanics are
Go hand in
related.
hand, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've read an interview with the CEO of Leica, a man called Andreas Kaufmann. He owns 96% of Leica of the Leica company, and he said that they were working on this project, I think, since 2008, so it was quite a long time. And he said the licensing agreement that they have with the company Leitz, because Leitz has the patents on the Leica camera. So the licensing agreement with Leitz comprises, of course, making cameras under the name Leica, but on second position it's watches. So the licensing agreement always had in mind the Leica watches.
Yeah, I heard that you've got the L2 on screen at the moment, and
Yes.
I heard the L1 and L2 started off in 2012 when Leica first started thinking about making a watch, and they spoke to all sorts of different companies, Hanhart, Chronoswiss, Lange, and
Yes.
more, to get ideas about how big project it would be and how many people would need to be involved.
Yeah,
which was really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah, I think so. When I heard it at the first time, of course, I was rolling my eyes, and I was saying to myself, why the heck must Leica do cameras? And I was a little bit afraid that they're cutting corners and slap a Leica logo on a generic watch to cash in a little bit with the name. And what I found out during my research is that they went really deep and really way further than that. And I give them my highest respect and my highest credit for that. I would also like to thank one of the very high-ranked people. I'm not naming names here, but I was talking to someone who was involved with the project at Leica at the very early stage, and he was very helpful in explaining me the story and the concept that is behind it. And he also advised me to have a look at my local Leica boutique to have a look at those, and that was smashing. I was just dumb enough to make a video of the ZM2, and I uploaded it already on my channel, and then I realized I was showing my face in a reflection, so I had to pull that video down, and so I didn't want to dox myself, so I have to.
I saw the short that you did of the LM1, LM2 monochromatic, though.
Yes, with the functions, or did you only see my
No, I
wrist
just
rolling?
saw your wrist roll, just
Yeah.
a wrist roll. Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael V is saying, I think Leica is somehow going for that brown look. Somehow it reminds me of that. You're not totally wrong, because I think the design philosophy of Leica and Braun is very similar. It is not really decorative in a kind of way. It is very down to earth, very pragmatic, and they also are not playing with a lot of colors in their product range. So there certainly are some similarities in the design language. I agree with you. Who was the famous guy who made all those Braun designs?
Dieter, was it?
Dieter, yeah.
Dieter, wasn't he taught by Max Bill? He was taught by Max Bill.
He was. 1 second. Braun design. Damn.
Yeah.
Braun designer. I'm just checking. Dieter Rams.
Dieter Rams. That's it. Yeah.
The mastermind behind the Leica design language. Now the design.
That's the Braun design language. Yeah.
Yeah. So the design on this one was also done by someone who was very long involved with camera design. So he's the father of the very minimalistic design language of Braun, and that's the guy here. That is Mr. Achim Heine, who worked for Leica until 2008, and then he became a professor for design. And he was he was in charge in designing this particular watch. So a
Yeah,
guy,
he's a product designer who developed cameras and lenses for Leica in the past 2
yes,
decades
yes.
in their design, isn't he? So
Mhm.
very, very associated and tied in with cameras, and
Yeah.
so very appropriate.
Yes,
Yeah.
so he started, and I've had access to a product book, and that was his inspiration. So he took
Wow.
design elements from old Leica cameras and then thought about putting them into this watch project. So apparently this was hanging on his wall, and that was his inspiration to do this. Something that I found very interesting, if you see here that lights logo, which was then later the Leica logo, that is a traditional Leica logo. But for the watches, he opted in getting a much more modern font, which also follows then his design language of simplicity. And the inspiration for the logo and for the Leica logo on this watch came actually from a lens cap from an M6. So
Right.
so yes, so that logo here was from a Leica M6 from a lens cap.
Because Ernst Lines II developed the Leica camera in 1913, didn't he? The first prototype
Yes.
35mm film camera.
Yeah, and if you have one of these, you're owning millions, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah, because that's what started the whole 35mm film camera
Mhm.
thing off. So as you say, it's a museum piece.
Yeah.
It's,
What I that interview with the designer I found very interesting because he pointed out what would have been obvious, what would have been integrated in a Leica watch, and he didn't do it. So first of all, the traditional Leica logo, he found that distracting on a watch dial. So he opted for a modern approach. Then one thing that is very significant for Leica is the red dot. And you don't see a
yeah,
red dot here on the dial unless you are setting the time. He also said a red dot would be distracting and confusing with the watch design, and he didn't want to do that. So a lot of thought was put into that design project. What I learned is they got that patent for the setting crowns, and we will talk about that in a minute. The patent for the setting crown actually was the beginning. So they acquired that patent, and then they tried to develop the product around this. And the setting process actually is quite unique and quite neat. Unfortunately, I don't have my video, but I have a no, I don't have a Tim Mosso video, so I have to explain it to you here with that video or with that web page. So let's try to do that. I think with my picture would be
there we
better.
go. If you see the round ruby set into the watch's crown is
It
the
is
red
not a
dot.
ruby anymore. The idea was to have a ruby, but then they
They turned it into a painted dot, right?
yeah, I think it's enameled. So you
Right, so
use
it's
red
enamel
enamel.
dot. So that's the red dot logo, which is on the Leica meter, light meter, which
Yes.
is for the M3 camera, wasn't it? And fits with the camera's language that Leica cultivated over the decades. So it's
Yep.
again fits in totally with their philosophy of cameras and watches together. So it's
Yeah. So this is my picture where I have that beautiful monochrome
that's lovely.
ZM2 on the wrist. So even more reduced because the logo is just clear painted
Blacked
on the
out,
dial.
yeah.
Yeah, just like with the recent H Moser watches that has this type of logo. So basically, what happens is when you want to set the time, you're pushing that pusher that is on top of the crown with a red dot. And that pusher has 4 functions, or that pusher activates 4 functions. So the first line of action is that this white dot here turns red. So that gives you then a kind of indicator that the watch is not in the normal mode. The normal mode is white, just like the power reserve, which I will address a little bit later. But the normal mode is white. The alarm mode, that it's out of the usual, is red. Now you push that button and this goes red, and then you can set the time. So you operate the crown just like a normal watch. You don't pull it out. You operate the crown then in time setting mode, and you can set the time. Now the next function that happens when you push that button is that the watch is hacked, and the little second here at 6 is reset. So there is also a 0 reset by doing that operation. So a lot going on with a simple push of the button, and the developer said that basically they had a kind of column wheel that controls all those functions. So it's quite complex, and it's very unique. Just like I said, Leica has a patent on it. Some people may say, yeah, Moritz Grossmann has a similar system of setting the time, but Moritz Grossmann is a little bit different because that button here is not part of the crown, and that button doesn't reset it. The seconds, it just hacks the movement. So there is a different, and you also have to pull the crown to activate it, and you push the button then to let it run. So it's similar, but it's different.
Does the button, does it have a double depression? Could you press it once to set it and then sort of press it in again and it pops out?
No, this crown doesn't move. The Moritz Grossmann, you pull and it snaps in.
I'm referring to the button on this crown. When you set it, do you push it in or do you hold it in while you set it?
You just turn the crown. You don't pull it out. You don't push it in. You leave it like that. The moment you push that button, it goes into time setting mode.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how do you get the button out again to get it out of time setting mode?
No, the button goes out just like the release button of a camera. So it's not stuck inside. You push it and it bounces back just like a chronograph button.
Right. Okay. So you have to hold it in while you set it.
No. When you push it, this turns red. So the watch changes the mode.
Got you. So when you push it again, it turns
exactly. It goes back then to the normal functioning mode.
Got you. Right.
So that is very unique, never done before, and you can imagine that a lot of work goes into that. I will go a little bit later into the fact that they really constructed a movement out from scratch, with the kind help of Andreas Strehler. He was involved in the design of this movement in parts. So that is Leica's own movement. You won't find this particular movement in any other watch. And from the features that you're hearing, you can see that this is quite unique, and it's more than it seems at first glance. Are you still following, or are you falling asleep?
Yeah. No, I'm following.
Okay.
You've got the other functions on top, of like the button for the date.
Yes, here is the button for the date. So at 2, just like a chronograph button, but with that button, you change the date, you move the date ahead one step further. Later, when we are having a look at the movement, you can also see that ratchet wheel that transports the date one step further. And then you have here the power reserve indicator between 8 and 9, which is also very unique. You could say, this is just a little window. No, it's not. So basically, underneath that little window, there is a wide field that stretches over the entire window. And then you have two lamels, just like an aperture, that are closing, or opening. So when those two black lamels are closed, this field is entirely black. And those two lamels then open constantly while you wind the watch up, and you're starting with a very small and tiny white stripe in the middle here of the power reserve, and then it opens more and more, just like an aperture on a camera. So again, Leica didn't cheap out. They really went way above the usual to make this watch special.
Yeah. So now this is a GMT watch, isn't it?
This is the
GMT version. So you've got the outer bezel, which is controlled by the crown at 4 o'clock.
Exactly, that is the crown at 4 o'clock.
The inner bezel, should I say, inner rotating bezel.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the knurling here on that crown reminds me of a camera button where you can change the controls. So the design is no coincidence. But you have to pull out that crown, and then you can adjust this inner bezel, this hour ring here to a time which is convenient to you. So this is a so-called caller GMT, which means usually you're sitting in your office, you program a second time, for example, Texas or whatever, and then you can see the time at the place where you're trying to call, to know if you're pushing someone out of bed or if he's ready to take your call. And so this ring here changes, and you can read the time at your second time zone then here on that ring. Now, to know if it's day or night, you have that little indicator that reminds me of a lighting meter of a camera.
Yeah, it does
as well. And at the moment it's totally black because it's 12 o'clock in the night, so it's midnight at the moment. If you turn that around for 12 hours, it will be 12 o'clock noon, and this will move then to and show a white aperture. So when it's white, it's day. When it's black, it's night. So this is a day and night indicator here. A very unique feature, never seen that on a watch before. And you can imagine how tiny that little part is that covers that scale, which is black and white.
What do you think about the date of function, the date alteration button at 2 o'clock? Do you think it's a bit of a clumsy design? Should have had a locking mechanism on it? Do you think it could be accidentally pushed by your wrist?
The design of both buttons, the central button in the crown and also on the date, are designed in a way that you push them relatively wide inside, and the action happens on the last leg of that travel, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Because they wanted to prevent that this is accidentally changed. So I had that discussion with my friend at Leica, because I found that button here not super responsive, and he told me that that is deliberately designed like that. It has a long travel before it activates or deactivates, because they wanted to prevent accidental activation.
Depression.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
So yeah, I think we are changing the page and go a little bit more into design details that they thought about it. So we are talking here about ZM1 and ZM2. The difference between those two is one has that second time zone, so that GMT master or that caller GMT function. So they differentiate each other from that ring that can be moved by this crown. Other than that, the watches and the movements are the same.
Yeah.
And ZM1 or L1, they started as Leica 1 and Leica 2. they changed the names to ZM1 and ZM2, which means Zeitmesser, which means time measurer in German.
Right. I only know them as the L1 and L2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So no,
right.
they changed the name during the process, and
Right.
yeah, that's it. So the difference is here: the ring that changes, the crown, of course, and then this day and night indicator that you see here.
Yeah.
So one thing that immediately stands out is when you see the profile of the watch, you can see that that shape of the crystal, which reminds you of the front lens of a camera, I would say.
So it's 14 mil. It's 14 mil thick, isn't it? Which is
yes,
coming on fairly thick, isn't it?
Yes, but the watch is very comfortable to wear because you have no case back sticking out. So the case back is totally flush, and it's really enjoyable to wear, I must say. I tried them all out, and they felt very comfortable on the wrist and a little bit smaller than 41 millimeters, which is the official diameter of those. Now let's come to the movement. Let me see if I'm getting an image of the movement. I think I have to change to Hodinkey. So we are having here those details, and here you can see the movement. So just like I said, this is a manufacturer movement. That is Leica's own movement, which is assembled in the Leica factory building. They have a kind of manufacturer for high-end cameras and also for those watches, which is called Ernst Leitz Werkstätten. So it's a separate building in Wetzlar where also the camera are being produced. And I found that the design of the bridges and also the finishing quite interesting because there again they took a solution which is different than the conventional watch design. Conventionally, it would be Geneva stripes, traditional bridge and everything. But other than that, you find those frosted bridges with the elevated edges, which are then also beveled. So they have anglage at the corners. And you can see those almost geometrical shapes, particularly around the escapement wheel here, around the balance wheel. I apologize. So you can see those geometrical curvatures, which is also part of the design language to keep it simple, to keep it relatively subtle and very pragmatic.
It's just the finishing, casing, and final assembly that are done at the Ernst Leitz Werkstätten, isn't it?
Yes.
Just next door to the Leica factory.
Yes. The assemblage is being done there. From what I know, the manufacturer of the movement mostly is done at Lehmann, which is their partner in crime with that project. I will go to Lehmann a little bit later. Lehmann is a company in the Black Forest, run by a relatively young man, also a watch aficionado. 1 second, I will go to Lehmann watches. So the Black Forest region once was the home of Junghans watches, which was at one time the largest manufacturer of clock movements. I love that web page because people have to know. Our friend Abdul knows that. You can see the hat that woman is wearing.
Yes, bizarre, isn't it?
That is a traditional hat from the Black Forest region.
Really?
That is called a Bollenhut. That it's called.
Wow.
Yeah, and
how interesting.
That is centuries old. This tradition. And I love the fact that this woman, who is certainly not a traditional woman, is wearing this kind of hat just to symbolize tradition and also progress. I really like that picture and the symbolism that is
I,
behind
lo- I love Crappy Luxury's comment. Looks like a Star Wars helmet.
it. Crappy, I pulled that only for you because I think you and we have been talking about those Bollenhüte because Crappy has this passion for German women and traditional clothing, and I think I told him about the Bollenhüte on a previous show. And when I saw this picture, I was immediately thinking of our friend Crappy Luxury. Hello, good evening, and I hope that you're doing well. So. Yeah, Lehmann watches. Let's have a look. No, yeah, let's have a look at the manufacturer before. So Lehmann, his father started the company, as far as I know, and
Yeah, Lehman Precision, isn't
yes,
it?
mhm. They are a large supplier for the watch industry because their specialty is high precision machines. And you can imagine that all Swiss watch companies need those high precision machines. So Lehmann knows the watch industry really well, and he's also a watch fan. At one point, he started his own brand, and that is where everything started. And I'm having a look here at the Lehmann.
Lehman Schramberg, wasn't it? Schramberg, their own
Yeah,
brand.
it says on the logo Lehmann Schramberg. However, I see the address in Horb or something. So not sure if Horb is a suburb of Schramberg. But Schramberg is a location in the Black Forest,
Right.
where also the Junghans company was located.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So here's the Lehmann product range. It is again when you see that woman with that traditional hat, it's a combination between being very progressive and very traditional, I would say. And there are some interesting features. First of all, the lug is shaped totally different, and it has a reason. 1 second, let me try to show that to you.
But you don't find their movements in many normal Bosch-based watches, do you?
They are not selling their Bosch to any other company. They are only selling the machines to produce then.
Yeah, and that's something that Leica quite liked, I think, about the company.
Yes, very much, and also, you know, this is a little bit a cultural thing. It's a little bit similar like the Vallée du Joux. The Black Forest is a region which traditionally was cultivated by farmers, and the Black Forest region had very long and brutal winters. And so, what did the farmers during all those long winters? They started to produce cuckoo clocks.
Ah, right, okay.
So that is the reason. That is the region where the cuckoo clocks come from, and this type of horology is originated from there on. This region also had a high-end hi-fi manufacturer who made excellent record players and amplifiers. A company called Dual.
Dual, really? I know them. Yeah, I know them. Yeah, Dual.
They're also from that region. So
really.
Yeah, and the people there, they have the image of being totally nerdy with precision, and Lehmann fits that to a T. My contact at LEICA told me if Mr. Lehmann is working on something, you better not call him. Because he doesn't want to be disturbed until he solves
it. Disturb him, yeah, brilliant. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, so we Stuttgart, the car manufacturers, are not far away from the Black Forest. This is the region where I grew up. So everybody is very conservative, very boring, but very anal about precision and all kind of technology. We're always trying to make it better and improve. So that is in our genes, and that is what makes that entire region so successful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so one example for this dedication for details you can see here. he's supplying his leather straps in two different angles. So one is flush and one is angled. So you can order those straps in two different angles to fit on your wrist, depending on how the watch sits on you.
Wow.
So there is a lot of attention to detail. You see here the movement finishing, which is machine made, but he's getting a kick out of those decorations, which are very unique, very special. And one thing that he does, what I really like here, here's the movement again that you can see. One thing that he makes very beautifully on his ébauche is the transparent rotor. Can you see that here?
Wow.
So basically that rotor doesn't have those arms that carry the weight. That is a sapphire crystal.
It's a peripheral rotor.
No. It is a central rotor, but the arms, the metal arms, are replaced by a sapphire crystal disc.
Wow, interesting.
So that you can enjoy the finishing then of the movement.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Extent.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. We have our friend OC here saying hello. OC, please hop on. I need your input.
Hi,
here.
OC. Yeah,
your
jump
criticism.
Jump on. Let's have a critique of these German Lehmann watches and the.
And we have Mr.
LEICA
Wilkinson
watches.
here. Where's Mrs. Wilkinson? Thank you very much for joining. My favorite is the Tandoori pilot watch. Okay, do you know that?
No.
Not aware of that.
I might have one for dinner tonight.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we have Junior Johnson here saying hello from Michigan.
Hi, Junior. Good to see you, JJ.
Okay, so what makes those Lehmann watches very special is, one second, I'm trying to show you that. Bad preparation, I must say. That is the overview. One thing that Mr. Lehmann is particularly proud is the crown again. The crown sits flush here in the case. And it has a kind of telescopic mechanism. So you push the crown and then the crown jumps out and is ready to operate. So you can then fully control, and then you push it in and then it stays flush with the case.
It's got an interesting design, hasn't it? It's a bit like a belt buckle or something, isn't it, that watch? It's
yes. Yeah.
It's interesting design.
I have a former colleague, and they are carrying Lehmann because they're not very far from the Lehmann headquarter, and he's speaking in the highest tunes from Lehmann. He says they are extraordinary quality. Once you get over the very rudimental design, you will discover that those are amazing watches for the money that you pay. And my personal favorite is that one here.
Right.
So that is power reserve and date. First of all,
so a pointer date.
It is a pointer date here at the inner ring. 1 second. Can we zoom that in a little bit? Yeah. So here you can see a kind of pointer date. But you also can see that the dial consists of two parts. So you have the central disc here, and then the ring outside.
A rotating pointer date that rotates.
Exactly, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. But what makes it even cooler is how the power reserve indicator is done. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, here you can see the details of the dial. And he's very proud that this pattern moves over to the ring. Here comes the power reserve now. And unfortunately, that picture is blurred. So you can see the power reserve here on a sideways display.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah. And I really like that, how they moved it away from the dial in order not to make it too confusing. Let me check if I can find a better picture. Yeah, here is a better picture of it. You can see here the power reserve.
Yeah, blimey, that's like something from a motorbike or something, isn't it? It's like a
little bit like the tank level. Yes. So this is
Yeah.
12,000 euros in stainless steel. I think that's a very cool watch. Very interesting, and yeah, made in very very limited numbers. I think he has only a handful ADs in Germany, and yeah, I find them really cool and really interesting. The technology is top notch.
I mean, going back to the Leicas,
Yes,
they're very expensive, aren't they? They're touching what, about 15,000 for the time only, and 20,000 for the, or 17,000 for the GMT
it's not that bad.
euros.
It's not that bad if you're talking about the time only. Once again, if you're talking about the time only, that is positioned at 10,000 euros.
All right. Okay. Okay.
And the other one around 14,000. The monochrome is a little bit higher, I think 1,000
Yeah.
more. But it's 10,000 euros and 13,000 euros. I'm not sure how much they are selling in the US, but I would guess that it's not very different.
Yeah.
So, but it is a proud price. I agree with you. But I think what you get in return is really fascinating, because you get a totally in-house movement with very unusual functions, and you're getting a very exclusive watch, because Leica is making less than 500 per year of those together.
Sure. We'll just go back to the movement of this Leica again.
Yes, 1 second.
Oh, that's on the Dinky. So it's on the Dinky, isn't it? It's on the Dinky.
Yes.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, the finishing of the movement isn't too fancy, is it? It's quite industrial. It's but not careless. It's not meant to be flashy or showy, is it? It's I don't think Leica has any intention of setting up a full watch assembly and sees the partnership with Lehmann as long term. So they're leaving it to Lehmann to do their thing and not get involved with any decoration when they do the assembly, just simple finishing.
Yes. I was talking with my friend at Leica about that, and he confirmed their approach is the highest possible precision, and that is their main focus on getting those parts as precise as possible. And Lehmann is the perfect partner for that, because nobody makes those parts as precise as him. He also told me that it is a design choice, just like the simplicity of the case and the dial, to keep the decoration of the movement relatively simple. However, there is anglage. I think it's machine-made anglage here around those edges, and I think the same kind of construction of bridges you can also see on Grönefeld. I don't want to compare this particular watch with Grönefeld, because Grönefeld has a lot more handwork done.
Handwork and finishing. Sure.
But I can see some similarities, and I really like that, because it's a super modern approach, which is going away a little bit from the traditional.
Yeah. How did it feel on wrist then, this watch? How did you find it on wrist? Was it a heavy watch? Was it very comfortable being so flush? Was it?
It was more than comfortable. Actually, I was asking myself if the watch was made out of titanium. That is how well it felt on the wrist. I thought for a moment that this particular watch was made out of titanium. That is how light it was, and that is how comfortable it was.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was really enjoyable to wear, and yeah, what I also liked is here. Can you see the batons here that are really three-dimensional?
Yeah, raised. Yeah,
those are raised. Those are also carved out hands. Those are not stamped hands. So those are carved out the similar shape, just like those batons. So just like I said, the watch is not cheap. Leica never was cheap, and the
No.
watches are not cheap. But I think you're getting something very interesting, very unusual for your money. And what I found interesting is I was talking to the sales guy who knew nothing about watches. So he was a camera guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I was asking him, so can you tell me a little bit more about who is buying those watches? Because in my mind, I thought those were guys who have a massive Leica camera collection, and so they are dedicated to the brand. And then they see, oh, Leica has watches, and we're getting one.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
he told me what he observed was that many people were inquiring at watch ADs about those watches and were sent them over by those ADs because they are exclusive at Leica. So they're getting a new clientele and they're getting new clients about those watches. And he says many of the people are not camera guys, they are watch guys who heard about those watches, who
Really?
approached their ADs. Can you show me one of them? And the AD must say, sorry, I must pass. You must go to the Leica boutique. And then they are buying those watches from the Leica boutique.
Right.
So some of them, many of them are new clients.
Interesting. So it's not just a camera
Yes.
sort of community that are meant to be the sort of bouncing off onto the buying a watch from the brand that they really like. It's they're actually sort of reaching out to a new clientele.
Yes. And I think
Right.
that's exactly what Leica's target is. And it's
Yeah.
also a compliment because we watch guys are very narrow-minded. We have our value system. So Patek sits very high, Rolex then a little bit below, then Tudor, and then you have other brands. So
Yeah.
and those Leica watches don't fit into our brain or into our value system. And it is
Yeah.
difficult to understand who would buy such a watch. But it's very important to look a little bit outside, that there are people out there who just honor the watch for what it is. And OC says Leica design reminds me of Nomos, but Leica is much classier. I think that's exactly what Leica is trying to achieve. And I agree with you. And I would also say the Leica design is a little bit younger. Nomos tends to be very conservative with their shapes, particularly with the long lugs.
Yeah.
They recently updated it. They popped it out with colors. But I would say Nomos is much more angular and much more conservative. This is more progressive and a little bit more pleasing in my eyes.
I'm just going to bounce off. Just going to bounce off OC's comment there and just say, do you think this Leica look, Leica design, is a very Germanic design? Is it a very German look?
Totally.
Do you think?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael W. just said it. It reminds him of Braun. It is a tradition of Bauhaus. Of course, every designer who is inspired by Bauhaus interprets a little bit different. Nomos is inspired by the simplicity of Bauhaus. Leica is inspired by the simplicity of Bauhaus, and the list goes on. So everybody.
Junghans.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everybody. Everybody draws then his own conclusions from this very minimalistic approach. But I see a continuity on that.
Yeah. I mean, those batons look like they're filled with lume.
No, unfortunately
heavily
not.
lumed.
Unfortunately not. That is one of the criticism that I heard about this particular watch, that there is no lume on the hands. However, I'm not sure if you could make those batons and those hands then so beautifully if you fill them with lume.
Right. They look like they're sort of maybe tritium tubes or something.
No, nothing. And I advise everybody who has concerns, and I would tell my friend that at Leica as well. Mondane, the railway clock, they have such a genius system of looming the hands without showing, because
From reverse, yeah.
they just loom them from the underside, from the reverse.
Yeah.
So you're not destroying your design, but make it more usable even in the dark. And I really like that. And I'm surprised that nobody really picked up that idea, because in my opinion, it's brilliant.
Crappy Luxury saying the dark is too dark. The dial is too dark. It's
I
from
think he
Star
means the
Wars.
dial.
It's from Star Wars, Crappy.
Yeah.
It's from the
And
dark side.
and there is a nice contrast between the hands and the dial.
I think there's a very good contrast between the hands and the dial. It's very legible, extremely legible.
Yeah, and even further here, when you don't go for the monochrome, I think those hands are even brighter. I think the ones on the monochrome are a little bit coated. So I think that being legible here is not an issue really with those watches. And Crappy, I'm happy to connect you with the guys at the local Leica boutique, and you can have a personal viewing here in Hamburg. Visit me in Hamburg. We're having a currywurst, some marzipan, some German coffee, and you get to try this particular watch out.
And then come in October, Crappy, because there'll be Oktoberfest as well.
Oh, Crappy wants a Nomos.
I want a Nomos as well. I want one of those new Tangente dates in the colours and the
those are beautiful.
175th anniversary in 31 different colours.
Yeah, which color are you going for?
I don't know. There's so many different colours. I really like the reds and the pinks and the there's so many. The blues, I was looking at them on Watches and Wonders, and there are just so many different colours to look at. One for every day of the month.
They didn't update their webpage yet. I'm wrong. 1 second. Neuheiten, maybe under novelties. Oh yeah, here we go. 1 second. I'm sharing the screen. So is that where the cameras are butchered for? The new Nomos, Thomas?
Oh yeah, those are great. Oh no! The cameras are paying off other things. Look at those. Look at the yellows and the greens and that. Oh, beautiful. Look at that, like that dark sort of.
I like that yellow one here.
That one on the right, the orange. The orange one. And the blue one, the ice blue one.
You mean that
they're all gorgeous. That burgundy, that's not quite burgundy, but or a deep orange, indigo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all.
I like that one here.
Yeah, ice blue.
Super cool. And what I really like is Nomos made that limited edition, and they are cheaper than the normal editions. So
they're 1,800, are they?
1,925 in Germany.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit less in pounds. Here,
brilliant.
Have a look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous. Yeah. Hand wound in-house movement, and just stunning. Yeah, them all. Watch and Wonders had them all laid out on a table for you to pick up and try on and look at. And,
did you salvage it a little bit? Did you draw?
Oh, totally. I was looking at them, picking them up, and just thinking, I want to walk out with this. Look at that! Wow, beautiful.
No, those are fantastic, and I think Nomos did a great job in putting a contemporary vibe into that very minimalistic and very edgy and conservative design of the case. So they're on a good way. Mohammed says the chili one is the best. Let's try to find that. Chili red. Mohammed needs another match for his Moser, H. Moser, and for the Grand Seiko.
That's great, isn't it? Looks
That's on
great.
fire.
Cracking. Yeah.
So is there a Nomos boutique in London? Maybe you can storm
I
the
don't
London
know.
boutique.
Maybe they're only making 175 of each color.
Yes.
So, you got to be quick off the mark on these. So, yeah, that'll get one. But the looks, I mean, some people say, good choice, AD never calling. Yeah. When they're making center seconds watch. I like the sub-seconds. I love it's a sub-second watch is a classic traditional look, I think. It's
Yes.
rather than the center seconds. It's
I think
the epitome of a traditional watch, I think.
I agree with you, and I disagree with AD never calling. I think a central second hand is always interfering with the design. I don't like those elegant watches with a central second hand. That is also my pet peeve with many Patek Philippes, with the annual calendar, with the perpetual calendar that are based on the 340-24 movement, which has that central second. I find it awful. I hope that Nomos doesn't listen to you, Patrick, and they continue making that. Now let's have a look what Crappy is saying. Crappy wants the Nomos 745 and 763. Is that a color code or what is that?
He says the subdials go with schnitzel and schnapps.
Okay. Nomos 745, never heard of that. So let me check if Crappy is trolling us just like usual. or not. So 1 second. Nomos 745. And Crappy, if you're trolling us, I will kick you out. Oh no, that is the Glashütte Club Sport. Okay, 1 second. Let's have a look here.
He says reference number 745.
Yeah, it is. I'm not good with reference numbers. I'm only good with those product names. So Crappy was endorsing the Nomos Glashütte Club Sport Neomatic Patrol. Mrs. Higgins has the Neomatic, but with a different dial. Beautiful watch. The Neomatic movement, the automatic movement from Nomos is just outstanding. I can't praise it enough. And if you don't believe me, believe Philippe Dufour. Have you heard that?
No, has he got one?
When Tim and OC were in Geneva and were talking to Philippe Dufour, they had a question, I think, from one of the viewers. If someone is starting collecting, which watch would you recommend for a newbie? And Philippe Dufour said Nomos.
Really?
Yes.
That reminds me of the Club Campus, that one. They do.
The Club Campus is the manual wound one.
Oh, really? This is the automatic, right? Yeah.
AD never calling is now going after me.
Time for Nomos to expand their stubborn German horizons.
Tell that a stubborn German. Good luck with that. So this is Nomos signature. Are they fully committed to sun seconds only? I think he means sub-seconds. I think that is part of their design language, yes.
Which is a great design language. I mean,
show the loom pic. Okay, let me try to find it.
I love sub-seconds, even though I'm wearing a sensor seconds watch at the moment. I love sub-seconds. Yeah.
1 second.
Especially off-centered sub-seconds. I like the Breguet 7147, which is my favorite watch. Yeah.
So 1 second. Oh, wrong button. Almost stalks myself. So let's have a look here at the loom picture. There you go, Crappy. Muhammad Ali is here in the house. Good evening, Muhammad. Hope that you're doing well. And AD never calling has been doing some research. The Nomos Blue BGW9 type loom. I have
Yeah.
no idea what he's talking about, but I think he
It's a
means
type
blue
of
loom.
loom. BGW9 is a type of loom used that they use.
Does that tell you anything?
It's just a type of loom as opposed to, I'm trying to think of other types of loom.
Is that the same type of loom that that Rolex is using, or is that a
No,
different loom?
no, they use their own. They use their own type of branded loom. Tom, am I still? Yes, I'm in absolute love with my Explorer 2 that I've got about a month ago. Could be my
Are you
one and
wearing
only
it?
watch. I'm not wearing it now. I'm wearing my Isotope and Scottish Watches collaboration with a diver with an enamel dial. Made by Isotope, which is a British brand.
Okay.
It's a Scottish Watches collaboration with Scottish Watches, and it's got a white enamel dial. It's a Hydrium Alba, and it cost me £924. So it's a nice bargain. Great interchangeable straps. It's a great fun piece.
Yeah, it looks very summerish.
Very summerish on this turquoise strap. Yeah.
Yeah. I can show you a different picture. 1 second. I think I can use Russ's picture that he sent me earlier. So Russ is wearing his watch with shorts and t-shirt, he told me, and he sent me this picture.
Yeah, but he's wearing a Patek minute repeater with shorts and t-shirt on an orange strap.
Have you seen the picture as well? Did he?
No.
Did he send them around? 1 second.
No. I can imagine Russ doesn't wear any old.
He said
he didn't wear £924 watch. He wears a £400,000 watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 400,000 is
Look
not enough.
Look at that! Wow.
Yeah, that is why we're called elite horology.
Wow. That was my favorite release, Patek release from Watches and Wonders last year. It blew me away when I saw that and looked at it in the cabinet. That my jaw dropped, and I just.
What I really liked is when Russ took possession of this watch, his AD treated him with a professional photographer. So he had to give the watch away, and he had a professional photographer taking pictures of the watch, and they are absolutely mind blowing. Let me check if I'm finding it so quick. I think I showed the pictures before. I'm trying to find them.
Crappy wants some Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte right now.
Oh, I just had Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte last week. It was fantastic. Crappy, where have you been? Okay. 1 second. I found the picture. That is so mind-blowing, that picture. Unfortunately, Russ didn't scratch it up before the picture was done. 1 second.
And I take it you're wearing the Sven Anderson, are you today?
Yes, today I'm wearing my World
Timer.
Yeah.
Benjamin Chi Horology.
Why can't I see that screenshot here? Just takes hours now. Because I have a stupid iPhone picture from the watch, and I have to convert it always.
So, Patrick, you're a loom lover then. What's your opinion on the loom on the Sprite that you've just got? Or your Zenith that you have? Good loom? Bad loom? What do you think's Rolex loom?
Do you know what Patrick did to get this watch?
His AD called him.
Well, it is not that easy. So his name is AD Never Calling, because AD never calls. So
Yeah.
he decided to push it a little bit further, and he faked a medical record that he's a left-hander, and he presented it to his AD.
I'm left-handed as well, Patrick. Yeah, lefties are the best.
So yeah, so maybe that is your, but you don't want a sprite, don't you?
No.
Okay, I found the picture. How is that?
Yeah, beautiful. That's it. That's the type of limb. We were talking about BGW9. Chromalite is this Rolex type of loom.
Yeah, that's
Chromalite
shtick.
Yeah, shtick.
Here another picture of Russ's watch.
Oh, beautiful.
I mean, those are professional pictures. Makes us look like amateurs. So. Okay, so I learned something.
How much do you want? How much do you want? I mean, what are you going to do with those photos, though? Put them up on your wall and circle jerk about your watch, or
I think Russ has it on his iPhone, and when he's not wearing the watch, then he can look how his watch looks like. I mean, you can blow that up as a poster on your wall, even.
Yeah, but would you want to? Honestly, would you really want
I would.
to? When you've got a collection like Russell's and you've got so many nice watches, would you really want to have a poster of your watch on the wall?
I had a poster of my watch on the wall, hand painted.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I had to do that. And I did. So, but that was a sin of my youth, I must admit. So it is not recently. That was way back then. So yeah, but I had to do that. So yep.
Can we just go back to Leica and check out the ZM11?
Yes, we can do that. 1 second.
So this is a 2024 release of theirs, isn't it? The ZM11.
The ZM11, I think last year it was presented.
Last year was the 2023, right?
1 second.
Okay,
let's go to the Leica webpage. Oh, see, I need your help here. I need your help. So that is the ZM11, and that is the latest model. And
now this bracelet reminds me exactly of a Streamliner bracelet, and ironically enough, the dual-layered dial was designed by designer Marcus Elicker, who designed the IWC Big Pilot, Zenith Chronomasters, and the Motor Streamliner.
So I think not only the design is his idea, I think the bracelet as well.
Yeah, so he's sort of taken design cues from the Streamliner and put it into a Leica watch.
Yes.
Which is now they're not using the Lehmann caliber in this watch, are they? They're using a Chronode caliber, which is the LA-3001.
Yes.
Chronode, of course, being Jean-Francois Motion's company. Jean-Francois Motion, who taught Simon Brett and who Simon Brett worked for when he learned his trade there, and so this is a Chronode automatic movement. So I mean, I find that a bit funny that they moved from Lehmann to Chronode.
Yeah, but I think the idea behind that is that I think those are the watches for the ADs. I think at one point Leica will try to be listed at the ADs, and I think that is their way to go. So those watches are
the L1 and the L2 will be boutique. Sorry, ZM1, ZM2 will be boutique.
Yes,
and the Z11. ZM11 will be rolled out into ADs.
Yep.
Right.
I think that is the strategy, and I was surprised how well that watch looks on the wrist. I've really enjoyed wearing those. Super smooth, super comfortable. That titanium bracelet, I was afraid that it will rip my arm hair out, because it looks really like like it catches up the wrist hair, but it was no problem. It was super comfy, super nice to wear, comparable to a Streamliner, I must say. And I got the Streamliner vibes as well before knowing that the guy who designed the Streamliner is also behind those watches.
Yeah. Now, if they're trying to roll this out to ADs, limiting it to 250 pieces isn't very wise, is it?
No, I think they're making those in larger quantities. They're not built with Lehmann. They're built in Switzerland by a partner, so they have nothing to do with Lehmann.
Right. Okay. But I get from my gather, this is limited to 250 pieces.
I don't know that, to be honest. I haven't researched that, but we can check quick. So it doesn't say here that it's
Oh, really? All right. Okay.
Not sure if you read it somewhere.
Yeah, I read it. So I read it
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay. So what is very, very nice and very easy is how you replace the strap, because it's very intuitive. 1 second, let me.
Yeah, it's got the 2 dots, the red dots, and
the 2 dots. You push those dots, and the strap falls off. Very comfortable, very easy to use. Not difficult to make. I think that is a great system.
Yeah. So it's a bit like the Vashburn Constantine Overseas, which is just a little flick of a switch on the back of the watch, isn't it, for the interchanging strap? So you can take the integrated bracelet off and then just put the leather strap or the rubber strap on the Overseas.
So Edina Vercalling says, I once tired down 2008 50th anniversary Rolex GMT because it had green lume. I needed one from 2010-12 on when Chroma Light came out. Well, Edina Vercalling, you could have done it easier. Just buy a dial for a ceramic GMT and put it in. That is what I did with my watch, because I also wanted the blue lume. So no need to buy another watch. The dials from the pre-ceramic Rolex sports models are compatible to the ceramic ones, with the exception of the no-date Submariner. That is a different dial.
Yeah, but Jonathan, you also shaved off the crown guards of your watch, didn't you? So
why do you have to mention that story all the time? That is haunting me. So Edina Vercalling, I love the straps. Are they rubber and textile? Yes, you can have them both, rubber and textile. And I was trying on that sailcloth strap, and I was trying on this particular watch in titanium. Super comfortable, super nice watch. I really enjoyed wearing it. However, I think that the blue dial is even nicer that we've seen before. And I personally would recommend getting the titanium. The upcharge for titanium is relatively low. It's below €1,000, even with the titanium bracelet.
I quite like this dial, this black dial with the gold accents on the batons and the hands. It's quite a sort of it's a nice looking dial, rather than the blue dial, rather than the standard blue dial. It's quite a nice looking accent there.
It's a little bit of coffee color.
Yeah, it's a bit sort of tobacco-y sort of looking. But these are sort of rated between $7,200 to $8,800 from what I gather.
Yes, so if you have a metal bracelet, it's always a little bit more expensive, and there is a small upcharge for titanium as well.
Yeah.
So you can see the launch edition with the rubber strap. I'm pretty sure you can order those rubber strap afterwards and put them all on the other watches as well. Shouldn't be a problem.
sort of streamliner that you can mix up the braces with.
Yes.
Basically. Are you gonna buy one on ID Never Calling? Are you gonna give us a thumbs up? Are you gonna go for one of these Leicas? And have we persuaded you enough?
Be careful, AD Never Calling. If you write something here, it's a binding contract. So
Muhammad Ali says overseas is the best. Final and Holy Wars. He's saying Final and Holy Trinity. Final and Holy Trinity Band sold me a sports. Finally,
yeah,
Holy Trinity Band sold me a sports watch.
Yes, so Muhammad must say that because the other brands told him to get lost.
I must say, Muhammad, I tried on an overseas, and I thought it was, when I tried it on, it was the most comfortable integrated bracelet. Well, it was the most comfortable bracelet, full stop, of any watch I'd ever tried. It was just so comfortable, and it was so, what's the word? It moves to any position on your wrist, any position your wrists took. It was just amazing. I thought the bracelet of the overseas. It was. I fell in love with it straight away. I didn't like the bezel on the overseas watch, but I loved the bracelet.
Did you see the blue dial? That deep.
Yeah, I tried on the blue dial. Yeah, I tried on the blue dial. Yeah, because stunning blue dial, stunning.
Yeah, I think that is almost the best blue dial that you can see.
A lot of people say it's the best blue dial in the business, but I've got a Z Blue Milgauss, so for me that's my best blue dial. That's my favorite blue dial.
I would like to see the new Patek Philippe 5396 with the baguettes with that smoky blue. I think that will be also an extraordinary nice dial.
Yeah.
Do you mean? Do you know what I mean? Should I pull it up?
Yeah, pull it up. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that one. Excuse me.
No problem. So let's pull Patek Philippe up. But we're already over the hour. So very soon we're gonna wrap this thing up unless you have questions or somebody wants to hop on the panel. So here we have Patek Philippe. And we have here the novelties.
Oh, not the denim ones, no, please.
No, but that I'm talking about that one, Thomas.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah,
I hope to see that one next time I'm visiting my.
So this is the blue dial version of the white dial that Buckley just got, hasn't it?
Yes, exactly,
without the diamond baguette, without the diamond baguette indices. Yeah, nice watch. I believe Jamie Opulence or Gonzo Jamie was considering one of the white dial ones that Buckley got. He was lusting after one.
Can you imagine how perfect this particular watch was if it didn't have the central second hand?
Yes, exactly.
That is my pet peeve. I hate that the central second hand.
Yeah, it doesn't belong on something as classy as this. I mean, the take off the central second hand, you've got a really well-designed work of art. You know, it's just central second hand cheapens it. It cheapens it. It's not traditional enough for such a catty watch. No.
Yeah. So what I would do if I owned that watch, I would immediately rip it apart. I would rip off that central second hand and make a customized cap on it with the number plate of Tanseal's Lamborghini, which says Lambo Tan. So I would have an engraved cap with Lambo Tan just to piss him off. Because I removed that central second hand.
You could send it to Second in Paris, and he could put a finger on it or something that rotated round, or some 2 fingers that rotated round or something like that. You know.
Oh, okay. AD Never Calling is talking about the 50th anniversary with a green dial. Okay. Sorry. I didn't catch that with the 50th anniversary. You should have talked about the Hulk then. But was
Yeah,
it a green
the Hulk,
enamel?
I don't like the Hulk. It's horrible. I've got Kermit, and it's Kermit all the way for me.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
Kermit all the
I'm
way.
I'm sorry. I apologize. AD Never Calling called me not out. Yes. Sorry. Okay, Muhammad Ali has 74 days until his 50th birthday, expecting a wall-to-wall coverage on all watch shows that day. And I hope that you're having an unboxing for us on that day, Muhammad. We're looking forward
Hey,
to that.
we've got 80 never calling into buying one of those Leica ZM11s. He's committing.
As far as I understood
No,
it,
he's not committing. He says he's going to look at them again, Thomas. I'm a buyer at 8K. So
which model does he mean
I
for
think he's
8K?
referring to the ZM11 we were looking at.
So
He's
ZM11 is doable at 8K,
more
I
with the
would say.
integrated base set.
Mhm.
He likes the integrated base set.
So 1 second, titanium. There you go.
Yeah,
That is the launch edition, and it's
I think he
8,150.
I think he likes that.
But I would go
It's
for the
beautiful
blue.
watch. I think it's great. It's very futuristic looking. It's got all of the Streamliner has at a fraction of the price.
Yep.
I mean, it's designed by the man who designed the Streamliner. It's
And the movement is not shabby as well. Have a look at that blue dial.
yeah, Chrono movement of Jean-Francois Mojon movement. I mean, you're talking top business. You're talking very good stuff. Absolutely.
Patel Philippe saying, I thought this channel was about high horology and not high photography. Yeah. So
Nice
AD Never
one.
Calling is devastated by the caller GMT at that price. Very unfortunate. Very German. Okay, that is a very good point. And
Good
I
point.
would, at the end of the show, I would like to address that point. I also have concerns about the price. I find them a little bit on the high side.
Yeah.
I've said it already. Leica never was a cheap camera, and I tried to show which lengths Leica goes into making that watch. I think 8,000 is not possible with the degree of customization and with the degree of details that they're doing. However, I ask myself, so is the price really an issue that keeps you off from buying that watch? And I ask myself, would you buy it for 8,000? And my personal reply was, it really doesn't change a lot in my opinion. If I like it, I would pay 14,000. No matter if it's 8 or 14, I would go for it. It's still a lot of money at 8. So if you're convinced getting one, I think the price is not really relevant. And 8,000 is the price of a Rolex Datejust. And here you have a manufacturer movement, high precision with very fancy and customized functions. So I think it's worth more. But everybody has to decide that if they like the fact that Leica is doing those, and yes, it's your choice.
So here's a finishing question for you, Jonathan. After visiting the Leica boutique and trying on the watch and looking at the ZM11, what do you think of Leica? Are they the kind of, would you buy a Leica?
Like a camera or a watch?
No, I like a watch. I like a watch.
I must say, I personally have that value system. So Rolex is the upper middle class, and Patek is higher, and then come the fancy independents. And I still have difficulties sorting the Leica brand recognition into that value system.
Right.
That is my emotional problem that I have. But I was researching this particular watch a couple of years ago because the launch has been delayed, and I'm constantly having in my head, and I can tell you over the last 3 years where I was researching that watch, it grew on me, and I really like that monochrome edition. I really like it, and I like the features. I like the movement. I like the fact that it's from Lehmann. I would
Yeah,
not buy a Lehmann. They are too conservative to me, and I don't like that gap in the
sure.
luck. I find them fascinating. I think the
A,
quality is
a collaboration with Leica is more attractive.
yes.
Yeah.
I think the design is much more my way of thinking and what I like.
So you back to the question: would you buy one or not?
At the moment, not. But
No, no.
I never say never, and they are growing on me. They're really growing on me. I wouldn't. The more I research the ZM11, and you said it's a streamliner for a very attractive price.
Yeah.
I think it's a very attractive watch, and I'm starting to think about that as well. So it's addictive. How about you?
Out of my price bracket, to be honest with you, I'm a £5,000 watch person. And unless it's AD calling. But yeah, if like Beckley Watch was saying, if we could get a discount, it'd have to be a 50% discount. But I love the aesthetics. Like Beckley says, I love the aesthetics. Yeah, I really like the watches, but then I like so many other watches. If I had the disposable income, I might well possibly buy one. It's interesting, but saying that again, there are so many other watches in that price bracket that I could put the money towards, and I think you've got to have either have an extensive collection and want to be branching out into something different, or already been on the journey through several watches, and then this takes your fancy, or you're either really into cameras, or you've been diverted. Your attention has been piqued by this, and my attention hasn't been piqued enough by this. It's a lovely watch, which if I had lots of money, maybe, but I like the ZM11, sorry, with the integrated bracelet, but I'd like a streamliner even more, to be honest with you. I'd be going for a streamliner.
Well, but the price is more than double.
Yeah, sure. But we're talking if I had lots of money.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they are doing the streamliner, the normal streamliners on that rubber strap.
Well, we've got the Alpine, the Alpine edition, the Alpine Racing edition came out on a rubber strap, didn't it? But that isn't a streamliner. It's or was it a streamliner? It was a streamliner.
No, it
skeleton.
was a streamliner. Yeah, it was
streamliner.
A streamliner tourbillon.
Streamliner tourbillon skeleton. Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
So we have Bear Clooney here in the house. He says that they managed to capture Leica cam design in this watch, and I think that that sums it up. I tried to make that a little bit understandable, and it was to me it was a fantastic journey. One thing that I learned with my discussions with Leica headquarters is that they're really passionate about those watches, and it's not that some nerdy camera guys who have no idea about watches just made a watch. I could see that they're serious about this project, and they put serious money also into that project. So the investments in making your own movement with those features certainly is not cheap. And I have no idea how they are able to recover those costs by selling 500 watches each, 500 watches in total every year. That sounds to me like a mission impossible. So I really give them credit for going the extra mile, for trying to make something really extraordinary that is also along their cameras. And I think that is a good word to end the story. Any final thoughts,
Yeah.
Thomas?
No, it's really interesting to have a look at these watches. Thanks for bringing them to our attention, Jonathan. And if you enjoyed the content, give Jonathan a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yes.
That'd be great. And,
Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends. And I hope to see you all on the next time. Thomas, thank you very much for joining me here on the,
you're
on the
welcome.
panel.
Yeah.
It was an honor and a pleasure. Also, thank you very much to everyone who's watching that show, who was watching live. Thank you for all the comments here in the comment section. I see Mike the Mistake joined us. Tim G, I said hello to already. So I think we can close this show, and I hope that we are seeing everyone on the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, great. See you all in chat. Take care and see you next time.